Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Birthright coverage here as we start getting into the actual Khinasi realms. And we're starting here with Ariya, which is lawful, good, and recommended, so players can have a go at this one. And in contrast to a lot of the things that we saw with the Voss and the Rurik, where they're relatively unpopulated, so here we're going to go back to kind of a more Enwirin or Brecht style where there's some fairly settled territories. So here, it's a decent-sized kingdom, right? I think we get, what, 6 or 7 provinces? We have a level 7 there for the capital, which is huge, right? I don't think we've seen even a single one of those with the Voss, and maybe one of those at best for the Rurik. But then it's, as you can see, it's kind of sparsely settled for the rest of it. So we got 3 1s, a couple of 2s, and a 3. The law is a little bit divided as well. Multiple temple things going on, multiple guilds, but just one source there. And let's jump right in. So, the ancient port of Ariya, a strong city-state on the Bahr el-Mahar, is ruled by Jarad el-Arasi. The Prince Paladin also leads the Ariyan Temple of Avani. Alright, so moving on here. So the law. The prince has a firm hold on the city of Ariya and the provinces immediately surrounding it. He ignores the outlying provinces, which are plagued by lawlessness sponsored by Aftain. On the temple side, as Lord High Patriarch of the Ariyan Temple of Avani, the prince controls a major temple to the Lady of Reason in the province of Ariya. Other small shrines are scattered throughout the realm and include the Temple of the Ancients, a sect of Nasri based in Mesir to the east. So you kind of see that there with different temple size holdings. Guilds. Several rival merchants compete for control of Ariya's markets. The leader is the Gold Coast Coster, governed by the good-hearted Omadi the Quick, level 6 thief, neutral good, interestingly. Very, very small bloodline there. However, a secret organization called the Brotherhood of Ket has grown in strength and influence of late, so you can kind of see some of their holdings there. So really a three-way battle there. So got lots of different competing factions at different levels there. Finally, sources. The court mage of Ariya, Rahil the Falcon, level 7 wizard, so a little bit tamer than some of the high-level characters that we saw so far when we went through the Rurik, where we had so many characters in the 10s and teens. Here, just a level 7 wizard, which is still pretty strong for the setting. Small bloodline too, also lawful good. Controls most of the sources within the state. So, and yeah, basically just about everything that can be controlled. So makes sense that the court wizard there is actually on their side too, and works out well for someone running this. Regency generated and accumulated, so a fair bit there, 34 and 40 respectively, so that's a fair bit to get started. You can definitely accomplish quite a bit there. Treasury also pretty decent here, 18 gold bars, and on a typical turn actually generates 27. So there's a fair bit of upkeep in here. And ironically, compared to some of the, like, you know, we think of like the Brecht as like the main seafaring of the human races here, but really take a look at what we got here for Ariya, what you're starting out with already. So they have a decent little military force, definitely room for expansion. They're well trained though and sufficient to defend the city. And again, it's this realm, at least for now, is largely the capital with some outlying provinces. The Prince's army, the Swords of Avani, consist of, you got 4 units of medium cavalry, 2 units of infantry. So, and the nice thing with cavalry is obviously the speed, so can move them around a fair bit. But the navy is huge to start with. You got 6 Zebeks, 8 Duras, and 4 Dows. And again, going back up there, you're definitely going to want to do a little bit of consolidating and building here just to generate a little bit of more gold. 27 is, you know, nothing to sneeze at, but you can tell there's a fair bit of upkeep here too. So the economy isn't necessarily as productive, as it could be, but that's a huge navy. The regent, Jarad ibn Farid al-Arasi, is a level 7 paladin, good bloodline there, 36, and then lawful good, is the Prince of Ariya. Rules the city of the same name as well as the Ariyan Temple of Avani. Like all in his line, he claims descent from the great King el-Arasi. In the last 100 years, Ariya has seen its fortunes decline, though, as its towns in Jef el-Qadir and Tegir have been ravaged in war with Aftain. Many city folk pay little attention to affairs outside the walls, which can be dangerous, right? Because there is more to the realm than just the city. But El Arasi feels gravely concerned about the depopulation of the countryside. He may take steps to reverse this trend anytime, which, yeah, you'll definitely want to do that, right? You got 3 1s, a couple 2s, and that 3 there, which, the 3 is fine for now, but all those 1s really, you have a good, almost half your realm is essentially largely empty. So, moving on, the prince, a dignified warrior in his early 40s already, has a sharp mind and can truly see into a person's heart. He believes Ariya should act as the political and moral leader of all Khinasi and insists on formality in all dealings. Now, he does have a lieutenant, so for diplomatic matters, places that in the hands of Patriarch Gyro Min Azedas, level 4 priest of Avani, also lawful good. No bloodline listed though. Portly priest with marvelous skills of persuasion. He, the Gerard that is, personally commands the armies but relies on the Ajazada captain Hadan El Jeffer, level 5 fighter, neutral good, also no bloodline there, to lead the fleet. So, got capable people, just nothing overpowered, right? Other important NPCs, you got Sari Bint Bediz, level 7 thief, now neutral evil. The Mistress of the Black Arrow is one of the most notorious pirates in the Seire Siendere. She and her crew of cutthroats lair in secret harbors along the coast, including a hidden base in the province of Azedas. Her network of informants and thugs is growing, and she'll soon become a contender for guild control in Ariya's coastal provinces. That's one of the things that you'll want to dedicate some time to maybe stamping out. Locals say that the region of Zikala himself sponsors her activities, and wouldn't that be interesting if that could be discovered? That would cause certainly some political ramifications and some diplomatic dealings, if not maybe a declaration of war there. But exposing that could be huge, especially for even just adventurers, even if you're not running the country. Then we also have Khalil El Arasi, a level 12 wizard, so huge there. Tainted Lawful Evil leads the powerful Geiru that holds the provinces of Kefira and Tair for the regent, his cousin. This ambitious scoundrel's clan has always feuded with the prince's family, dating back to when the great king turned his greedy brother Ariya into a giant dragon turtle. Yikes. Rumors claim he conducts secret negotiations with both Zikala and Aftane, which could explain some of the depopulation stuff going on. So you kind of have a serpent, so to speak, in the family, looking for someone to support him with an effort to overthrow his cousin. If he had an ounce of leadership skill, he might not even need foreign help, but nothing, regardless, he's got a bloodline, right? So that's always a danger, but he's a level 12 wizard, which is better than your court wizard by a long shot. So, and yeah, that's going to be pretty dangerous at some point. All right, moving on to a description here for Ariya. The beautiful city-state of Ariya boasts whitewashed walls and high gleaming spires. Built over the ruins of Saria, the oldest Masacian city in Cyrilia, Ariya maintains defenses and networks of streets that closely follow the design of the earlier settlement. As the nomadic Basarji began settling down, they rebuilt the Masacian ruins into their own thriving community. During its golden age in the 13th century MA, everyone considered Ariya the center of the Basarji world. After all, it was the home of the great El Arasi and the most important member of the Federation that defeated the Anuirans. In the 700 years since the legendary El Arasi's death, Ariya has lost its dominant position, although it still retains its reputation as a highly influential city-state. So some pretty neat artwork there. The devoutly religious people of Ariya tend to act somewhat formal. Holy days and hours of worship are strictly observed. Now, the capital of Ariya is, of course, the city of Ariya itself. The prince rules from the Tower of Mourning, a strong citadel guarding the harbor's entrance. The fortress bars any attack by sea, and Ariya's strong walls can withstand years of siege. And obviously then they can also have relief from the water, unless they're being besieged there too. Trade goods, leather, beef, and dairy products are plentiful in Ariya's arid countryside, where free ranchers tend herds of cattle. The city itself imports raw materials such as ore, timber, and raw silk from many sources, and supports a strong manufacturing industry. Ariya's craftsmen and skilled artisans are the finest in the Western Plains. Now, allies remains on good terms with Ben Sada, the results of a 200-year-old treaty forged when neighboring Zikala was militaristic and expansionistic. Masiri to the east is wooing Ariya as an ally, since the emir there feels threatened by nearby Aftain, which is kind of the boogeyman of this area. So kind of a source of conflict for everybody in the same way that the Blood Skulls were for the Rurik. Aftain is a problem for everybody. Enemies. Ariya and Aftain have always been rivals. 500 years ago, Aftain inflicted a major defeat on Ariya and claimed its northern provinces and the city-state of Shufal. Since then, the two states have fought a dozen major wars, and Ariya briefly regained its territory on several occasions. Recently, though, the rise of the aggressive Red Kings has signaled a new chapter in the conflict, and that's going to be your major sort of external threat, or one of the major external threats that you have to deal with along with the pirates. But you have some internal things to deal with as well, potentially scheming family member. And it's interesting to see, like how the DM wants to approach that as far as, how much is that really tied together? Are these all separate threats, or is there kind of a thread running through these where you have these external threats, the pirates as well, your cousin here who maybe is secretly dealing with some of your enemies to maybe overthrow you, so lots of little plots and stuff, but hey, that's Birthright and that's running a country. So Ariya is definitely one of the fun ones, and if you're looking for something easy, I shouldn't say necessarily easy, but easy in the sense of easy to get into for this part of the setting in this area, you really can't start with a better realm than Ariya, certainly for the Western Plain States. You got plenty of regency, plenty of gold, small-ish army, but good stuff, and a huge navy, which you can do a lot with, and certainly forge. It doesn't really mention here, but you definitely will want to forge some sea trade routes, get that established and bump that economy up even more, and then from there you can do good things, especially maybe consolidating a little bit on the law, the temples, and the guild activity, but also raising your provinces up a little bit as well. So plenty of cool stuff there. Let us know, guys, if you've played Ariya, your thoughts on this as our first Khinasi realm. Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and also if you want to support us a little bit more and see videos like this early, check out our Patreon. We got stuff like this, other Birthright content, other D&D, and other games we cover, with more on the way. So, and all the support there really helps the channel keep going. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.